have already clinched at least a share of their 14th consecutive regular season Big 12 title, breaking the record of John Wooden's UCLA Bruins, Dick. And tonight they want to win it outright for Bill Self.
I'll tell you one thing, Bob. To me, that was an incredible achievement. But they want to win it outright. They want to win this outright. He told us before the game. His record, to me, equates to what Joe DiMaggio did in baseball, 56 games with a hit. This record's going to be tough for anyone to ever get. 14 in a row in an elite power conference. Listen to this place. It's electric. Senior night, man. This place is electricity.
Mikhailuk, and a senior on senior night, scores the game's first points.
Well, Mikhailuk gets that score right there. If Bamba was on the floor, he doesn't get that layup. They miss Bamba. Texas, obviously, big diaper dandy, one of the premier players in the conference, out with a toe injury.
Foul called on Azubuike in the lane, and check that on Mikhailuk. And Holly Rowe, again, more absences from this lineup for Shaka Smart to deal with. All right, we'll try to get back to Holly Rowe as soon as we can, having some technical difficulties. But Mo Bamba, toe injury, did not make the trip. They hope to have him for their finale in Austin as Kerwin Roach knocks down a three to get Texas on the board. Eric Davis also being withheld from competition. He has been swept up, guilty, at least accused of taking some money in the FBI probe of college basketball. And of course, Andrew Jones, the second leading scorer at the time when he was diagnosed back in early January with leukemia. But we have gotten some good news as far as Jones' recovery is concerned. We'll share that with you a little bit later on.
Tell you one thing, Jones has missed so much. We wish you all the luck, Andrew. We're all with you, man, praying for you. Keep fighting, buddy. Keep fighting and have faith and think positive. Little trap.
Wide open Azubuike.
He's really gotten better and better, Azubuike. I was looking forward to seeing a matchup between Azubuike and Bamba.
And now, another turnover for Texas, gives it back to KU. By the way, that pass to Azubuike was a beauty, thrown by Clay Young, who is the rarely used bench player, but gets the start tonight on senior night, as he has put in his time here with Bill Self as well.
His greatest moment was against Syracuse, played 12 really solid minutes. He had an ACL injury, works hard in practice every day. You need those kind of guys to win, guys that really are unselfish. They're going to really attack inside without Bamba there. I think Azubuike is going to get a lot of touches around the rim.
Graham fades away. And the rebound pulled down by Jericho Sims, who will play a lot tonight in the absence of Bamba.
Well, he's got good athletic ability, Bob. He's got a good bounce off the floor. Oh, this place is special, man. This place is special. The enthusiasm, the energy, the buzz. I was downtown today. People wearing their all Kansas shirts.
Mikhailuk again.
He's had a real big year this year, Mikhailuk. Unfortunately, he's had to play in the shadow of Devontae Graham, who had to play in the shadow last year of Frank Mason.
Spin by Roach. Gives it up to Sims.
Nice play by Roach. Good penetration. Tell you one thing, they've come out here fighting Texas early in this game. They know a lot's at stake for them.
Graham attacks.
I'll tell you one thing about Graham. Devontae Graham's had a phenomenal senior year.
Roach gets the foul on Azubuike.
How good of a senior year has he had? Think about the last 14 minutes in that clutch performance against a really tenacious, tough Texas Tech team. To me, that clinched in my mind player of the year if I were voting in the Big 12. As much as I love Trae Young, love his stats, to the victor goes the spoils. You win like he has won, Graham. Graham's got to be the player of the year.
When you're the best player on the best team in your league, that should count for a lot. And that's Devontae Graham.
So you agree with me?
100%.
Oh,
He's
wow.
the player of the league in the Big 12. Now Sikowski is able to hit a three, though.
I took a big picture today. It was mom and dad here wearing their Texas shirts down at the brewery down in Massachusetts Avenue here in Lexington. Their parents very proud. He's had a good year, Sikowski. He'll be a key player today without Bob on the floor.
What were you doing at the brewery?
I was there having lunch, man. A great chicken sandwich, good potato salad, good soup.
That's all, I hope. Let's check in with Holly. Hopefully we've got her hooked back up. Holly?
Well, guys, as you see, Texas is without their 6'11 freshman phenom, Mo Bamba. Last meeting against Kansas, he had 22 points, 15 rebounds, and set a school record with 8 block shots, so they will definitely miss his presence around the rim. But Jericho Sims, the freshman, getting his 8th start of the year, promises that his aggression level will be on a 10 tonight, and he looks good so far.
Tell you one thing, Holly, you're right on target in your analysis about Bamba. No question you miss a guy like that who protects the rim. Very important for Texas to be able to go in at halftime feeling good about themselves, because I think everybody here is expecting blowout city without Bamba on the floor and being senior night and an emotional performance. I tell you, they're going to go inside to this guy a lot today.
Kazabuki.
He won. He definitely lifted his pivot foot. When do you see him next year? His improvement daily has been unbelievable. His footwork, he's working hard on the free throw line. Lifted that pivot foot.
Kazabuki to the bench as he will be replaced by Mitch Lightfoot, and a standing ovation for Clay Young. Again, the senior gets the start on senior night, but now the normal starter, LaGerald Vick, checks in for the first time.
Well, they're bringing Vick, who's a tremendous athlete. He's as good as an athlete you'll find. Little inconsistent shooting, a very athletic, good defender.
Coleman left alone by KU. Can't make him pay.
Coleman's a key player. He's a guy with a lot of ability. He was a big-time high school recruit out of Oak Hill Academy. They're going to need a special performance. They need him to neutralize the great ability of Graham.
Coleman bumps Graham. But if you're looking at least the first 4 minutes and 4-minute segments, that's a great start for Texas on the road on Big Monday. Ever here at Allen Fieldhouse, and Svi Mikhailuk, he wasn't even yet 18 when he signed. The Devontae Graham's always had a baby face, but you can see how those two have really grown up through the years. And Devontae Graham has had a senior season now that I can't imagine anyone thought he would ever have when he came here as a freshman.
Well, you know, think about this. They were roommates, and he didn't speak English, and he's really helped him with his English, Devontae. They became really close friends, and really have had a great career together. As you said, 16 years old when he arrived here. Halfway around the world, man, coming to a foreign environment. He has fit in beautifully.
Graham for three. Got it.
Oh, what a finish he's had in his career. The last 7 games, he has been absolutely brilliant. Averaging over 20 points a game. The last 2, 24.5. He's made 11 of 23 threes. I mean, this guy's been sensational at clutch time and winning time. They've won 8 in a row, 34 in a row on senior day.
Sikowski from the corner. Sims an offensive rebound. And the putback rolls home.
He's not done a nice job early in this game, Sims. Wasn't planning on getting that much PT playing time, but without Bamba, he's going to get a lot. They're zoning right now. Shaka told us they have to play some zone. They don't have a lot of, doesn't have a deep rotation, wants to keep guys rested.
Vick can't hit the three. The weak side rebound to Jacob Young, and a chance for Texas to take the lead.
See, I think Texas got to reduce the game a little bit and got to take a little more time off that clock.
Kerwin Roach buries a jumper, and the Horns are on top.
They make the three like that, that certainly helps. And Roach has knocked down 2 of them thus far. They stay in the zone, try to shorten the game a little bit. They don't have the manpower to go up and down the floor with the Jayhawks.
Graham caught in the lane. Malik Newman backs it out. Now he'll drive it at Roach. Gets it to go.
Tell you what, Malik Newman's gotten better and better from the beginning of the season. Shooting well from the three, transfer, high school superstar, went to Mississippi State. Things didn't work out. Bill Self said, we'll give you a shot. He loves it here.
Jericho Sims, too strong. Lightfoot the rebound. Here comes Vic.
You know, if you're a player, how could you not love this environment?
Graham steps into a three. He's got another triple.
What a senior season. Man, last year, he shared time with, certainly on the backcourt for notoriety with Frank Mason, who was everybody's player of the year, basically. Then you also had Jackson here, the great type of dandy.
Roach lost his footing.
I thought he got
foul will be called.
I thought he got bumped.
So Lightfoot gets called for the foul. And Tuesday on ESPN, number 9 North Carolina riding a 6-game win streak. They'll take on Miami at 9 Eastern. It's Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile. Heels, Canes also available on the ESPN app.
Tell you what, there's some teams on the bubble, and certainly Texas on the bubble, sitting at 7-9 in conference play, playing here, and then at home, West Virginia. They got to be able to find a way to win one at least of these 2 games to remain for a chance to play at March Madness. 7-11, Bob, put you in danger territory, the big red flag.
7-11 would really test what the committee thinks of the league, right? How strong they think the Big 12 is. And if 4 games below 500, you need some out-of-conference help, obviously, to get in as well. But if you put a 7-11 Big 12 team in, that tells you what the committee would think of how deep the competition in the Big 12 this year has been.
It's happened in 20 years 3 times. I remember one time Florida State got in at 6-10, but that's very, very rare. I mean, 7-11, you're Shaka, you're begging and pleading, and you're on your hands and knees, man. Get a win of these 2 teams, you got yourself a great, great chance. You could beat a Kansas or beat a West Virginia.
Graham, short, offensive rebound, Vic, right back to Graham. Touch pass, Mikhailuk. He hits a triple from the corner.
Did you see how quickly Graham got the ball over, reversed it to Mikhailuk? No hesitation. He knew where he was, great basketball IQ. He originally committed to Appalachian State, but then said, no, I'm not going. He went to Brewster prep school and then came here to Kansas.
Blocked by Lightfoot. A 6-point lead for Kansas. Can they win the Big 12 championship outright for the 14th consecutive year? We'll talk about the dominance of the Jayhawks, has at least won a share of the Big 12 regular season title. Devontae Graham was 8 years old when Bill Self began this run. He has fewer losses at home than he has Big 12 regular season championships. As Azubuike rejects Osadkowski. I mean, that is about as amazing a number on both sides. The fact that you've won 14 consecutive years, and in those years, he's lost 13 total games at Allen Fieldhouse, including 3 this season, which is by far the most. And they would love to win the title this year outright if they could.
Well, we talk about winning the title outright. To me, he has done the best coaching job. It's pretty tough to say after all the greatness he has had here, winning the national championship. But I firmly believe for 2 reasons, this is his best coaching job. Number 1, the toughness of the conference. This conference this year, when Iowa State's last in the conference, that tells you enough right there. And number 2, this is not a vintage Kansas team. Very limited with size on the interior. And number 2, as far as Azubuike working on the inside, they're going to pound it. They're going to pound it here. But number 3, Devontae Graham has had to have a great year with leadership and getting others to play after losing the likes of Mason and Jackson. I think Bill has done a masterful job, a masterpiece.
It's a 10-0 Kansas run. Osadkowski the rebound off the Newman miss.
You know, during the break, I tell you, I said, Bob, Texas has played as well as they possibly could play, and they were down 6. Look at the defensive effort on the basketball. Nose on the ball, good stance, good balance. Try to fight over the top of that screen.
Coleman through traffic, comes up short.
If Texas is going to have a shot, Coleman's going to have a big day. He's their star player on that floor.
Graham is held on his way to the goal by Coleman. That's Matt Coleman's second foul.
You know, without Bamba, this changes the whole complexion of Texas' team. Holly talked about it earlier. Bamba had a masterful performance against Kansas earlier this year. You lose a player of that quality, it changes your rotation, it changes the entire thinking process of the team, and your strategy as well. He's going to play more zone than he normally plays.
Well, you can see the improvement. He is a totally different player as the season has gone on, especially in conference play. For the numbers to go up that significantly, because you're going to play, as you call it, some cupcakes. It's going to be Cupcake City early in the season as Azubuike hangs from the rim, where you're going to have a chance to really pad your stats. So for Mo Bamba to improve that much as the competition improves as well, shows you how much better he's gotten as the season has gone on. They've got no rim protector, and Azubuike, it's been easy for him so far. Here's Newman. Glides to the rim again without Bamba there. And Shaka Smart needs a timeout.
We better get a TO, baby. And I'll tell you this, no Bamba makes Azubuike the star of stars here tonight.
This ladder is special.
I know one thing, Mr. Bamba, I may not be around because he's going to have such a long career in the NBA, but someday when I'm long gone, he's going to be sitting here at courtside calling games. That guy's got great personality.
Well, Mo Bamba has a left toe injury. That's why he didn't make the trip to Lawrence. They felt like his time would be better served seeing medical doctor today to get a better update on his condition. We're still waiting to hear how long he will be out, but I'm told that it's a left toe injury and that we are hopeful that he could probably return for the Big 12 tournament. We're waiting to get that medical update from the folks in Austin today.
I got to believe he's going to be an all-conference player, first team. I mean, you think about Carter's got to be here, Evans got to be there at Texas Tech, certainly Graham.
And Mikhailuk might be second team.
Mikhailuk really playing well this year, making shots. He's an excellent shooter. He's learned a little bit better about quality shots. That's the key to improving your percentages, taking good shots, not challenge shots.
That was a look at Svi's parents, who have made the 5,000-mile journey or so to come over and watch him on senior night. Sims, yes, able to throw it down. Nice bounce through traffic from Matt Coleman.
Coleman does a great job penetrating, passing the basketball. He's really a player with a lot of ability. Paul Biancardi told me coming out of high school, he was a special talent.
Graham lobs it. Azubuike didn't time a jump. And Osakowski comes away with the loose ball.
You can see their game plan is to take advantage of the absence of Bamba by getting the ball to the interior. Bring it inside to Azubuike.
Malik Newman with a crossover. Hit the underside of the rim. That ball bounces off the head of Sims. Ends up with Young. And he'll wait for some help. Osakowski, he won't wait. He'll try a three. That's in and out.
So I think they're shooting the ball too quickly. I really do. I think with their personnel right now, they're going to shorten the game a little bit and be a little more patient on offense. Look for better shots.
Roach to Sims. Through a double team, back to Roach.
That was a nice possession. Had some ball movement, some player movement. Wide open.
Newman from the corner. In and out. Azubuike trying to back tap it, ends up with Mikhailuk. He gets it back. Sims with a rebound, throws it out to Young near midcourt.
He's got to back it out. He's got to back that ball out.
Instead he attacks, and Roach is there for the foul.
Well, nice tip by Roach. Tell you what, they're not intimidated. They are playing with a lot of intensity and emotion.
Double figures already for Kerwin Roach. Still, though, down by 8.
What a conference this year in the Big 12.
Azubuike.
He will have maybe his biggest day in his career. They got nobody to challenge him on the inside. And Bill Self is in the Hall of Fame for one reason. You don't think he knows that?
Azubuike now called for the foul. That's his second. That might be the only hope for Texas if they can get Azubuike in foul trouble.
Unless you're on a boat, it's hard to get excited about fish.
Tomorrow, these would be the matchups in the first round: Texas, Oklahoma State, and Baylor, Iowa State. Texas Tech would be the 2 seed. We'll see if that holds, because right now they're getting drilled by West Virginia in Morgantown, and then West Virginia's on the road to close out their season against Texas on Saturday in Austin. So there's still a lot that could change with that bracket, but as always, it is going to be a great tournament as Roach tries an NBA three. Bob Wischusen here with Dick Vitale and Holly Rowe on Big Monday. Senior night. Gerald Vick throws one away, though, and Young gets an easy 2 as Texas trying to hang in there.
Well, Young stepped right in that lane. His dad was some kind of player. Michael down there used to play with Phi Slamma Jamma, Mr. Drexler, Mr. Olajuwon, and my buddy Jimmy V. Who could ever forget what he did? Unbelievable. And NC State beat that great team.
Garrett left alone, goes right at Osakowski. Gets his own miss. Mikhailuk from the corner.
They're going to rebound that basketball, especially with Azubuike out of the lineup, Texas. I would like to see them have a little more patience on offense. Use that shot clock a little bit. They're not going to be able to run up and down the floor with Kansas in transition.
Kerwin Roach gets to the rim. There's another one in. He's got 12.
He's really done a heck of a job here in his first half. He's attacked off the bounce. He's made a couple of threes. Championship week is always special, especially for those teams who know those conferences where they got to win the tournament to get in.
Pretty left-handed floater from LeGerald Vick.
He's very athletic, man. He bounces off that floor. He's got a little bit more bounce than you do.
Slightly.
You're the father of the year, though, I told you, for what you did to get here.
Well, we'll see what LeGerald Vick work he does in the media buffet. I got him beat there as Roach drags the pivot foot. 12 points for Kerwin Roach.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Attacking the rim right here, going to the goal strong. No Azubuike in there to protect the rim, so he goes right in, scores.
Well, Kerwin Roach is actually coming off a game winner with 1.2 seconds left. He hit the game-winning basket against Oklahoma State on Saturday. I asked him if that's something he's done before, and he said, I think I've had a game winner before, but I can't remember when. It's obviously my first in college. And he said, with every day, more and more confidence is growing. He spent about 45 minutes after the team meeting last night just going one-on-one film with assistant coach Darren Horn. He wants to get a better feel for the right shot, the right way, and every game we're seeing the confidence of Kerwin Roach continue to grow.
Well, that was a big shot he made. Look at the jam. Nobody better.
Malik Newman right to the goal.
Mr. Bamba would have taken that away with his shot blocking ability. Oh, they love it here, man. They love their Jayhawks. I'll tell you one thing, Holly, that was a big shot Roach made, because had they lost that game, they'd be coming in here 6-10. So that was a major, major win.
They actually had to come from 10 down in the second half to beat Oklahoma State by a point on Roach's game winner. Now they're struggling tonight as Smart calls a timeout.
Team, it is incredible the job he's done. He's the National Coach of the Year.
National Coach of the Year.
This team has more flaws than any team I've ever seen.
Not Tony Bennett. Not Tony Bennett. Okay. Bob, it's all yours.
All right, thanks very much. That's hard to argue with. That's a pretty good hot take from Seth Greenberg there. We're talking about Devontae Graham maybe being the player of the year in the Big 12 as Osakowski comes up short. Would you make Bill Self potentially your national coach of the year, as you talked about? Not a vintage Kansas team, and they've now won at least a share of 14 consecutive Big 12 titles.
You know, absolutely, you could consider him. I would put him in a running. I would not make him. I love Bill Self, but there's some guys out there nobody anticipated, thought that they would be where they are. Auburn, for one, with Bruce Pearl, with all the controversy that he dealt with, and that was part of his program with the Chuck Person scenario. I think there's some guys that, what about down at Texas Tech? Whoever thought they were going to be where they are? Trying to force that part. Chris Beard did a great job thus far. Tonight they're struggling against West Virginia, but to have them in the running like he's had all year, you got to certainly look at that performance. I think there've been a lot of guys who really have surprised people. Rick Barnes, Tennessee. Nobody thought they would pick 13th to the conference.
Yeah, the key at some point, though, is picking someone.
Yeah. I will pick someone.
Who do you get? Are those your finalists?
I think there's really a little close right now. I think it's got to let it play out a couple more games, see what happens. But I can understand Seth taking Bill Buzz a safe pick.
comes Devontae Graham. Behind the back. Gives it up to Lightfoot.
What a play. What a play. Are you serious? Are you serious? His stock is going up, up, and up. I walked in the building with him today. I thought I was with the Pope, man. I walked in his building, the Jayhawk fans. I said to him, hey, what about me? I want my autograph and picture. What about him? He's like, he's a hero here. He's a hero.
That's a big three for Matt Coleman as Texas just trying to stay in touch. They leave Mikhailuk wide open. You can't do that at the foul.
It's a fun night here for the Jayhawks. No doubt this club has been playing its best basketball. They got 8 in a row they've won, going for 9. They're playing the best going into the tournament. And I'll say it again, this is not a super, super talented Kansas team as we've seen over the years.
Great off balance. Leaner from Kerwin Roach. He's got 14, but Kansas is shooting 60% from the field as Texas has now been forced to come out of the zone and play the man-to-man. Just couldn't stop them playing zone.
Can't stop them playing zone, and they're going to have a tough time stopping them man-to-man. They're just too talented. Just too talented. And the loss of Bamba, it can't emphasize enough what his defensive presence means to Texas basketball.
Good hands for Osikowski with 5 on the shot clock.
Tell you one thing, you pick an All-American team, you got to be thinking about this guy in your first spot. I mean, there's some guys that are automatic. I don't think there's any doubt that Bagley and Aiton, Trey Young, I mean, maybe not player of the year, but you got to think certainly as an All-American, when you look at the body of work, not just in the conference. Mom's real happy.
LeGerald Vick, beautiful cut as he beat Young to the goal.
So let's look at All-American. You got Aiton. Aiton's had a terrific year with Arizona.
Yep.
You think about Bagley.
Yeah, leading the league in scoring and rebounding.
You think about Trey Young. Could be the first player to lead the nation in scoring and assists.
Coleman for 3. That won't go. And it's knocked to the baseline. Saved by Mikhailuk, but right to Osikowski. I guess I'd throw Jalen Brunson in there.
Jalen Brunson, without a doubt. In fact, Jalen Brunson's day would be my choice as the National Player of the Year.
There you go.
For what he has done at Villanova as a leader, catalyst. And then I put Graham. That would be my 5. Not a bad 5.
Mikhailuk spins, comes up short. The follow is there, plus the foul. Fresh off the bench, Silvio De Sousa.
Too much talent on the floor right now. Talent, fan support. I mean, they got the whole package going here. This is one great place. I asked Bill Self upstairs, any chance you're going to the NBA? He looked at me and said, this is a great, great job. And I guess the recruiting class is coming in next year is special, one of his best. That's one. Come on, Bill, smile. Give us a smile. Come on, Bill Self. Give us a smile. So I think one of the reasons he said, picked him as coach of the year, wants to come to Kansas to get a free meal down there at the brewery.
I don't necessarily think that character assassination of Seth is due. You might know something I don't know. Coleman double team with 10 to shoot.
Really struggling. Texas came out with great effort here early in this game.
All one-on-one for Coleman. Gets his own miss. Graham taps it. Roach saves it. And now about a 12-second differential.
The one common denominator of every Kansas team is how hard they play. They play with such intensity. They represent the name of that jersey, man. That name of that jersey's had so much greatness that they really respond. Same thing in North Carolina. Same thing happens when you wear that Duke uniform. I know they lost today. Those teams take everybody's best hit. Everybody's best hit plays at this level to want to beat that, and they have to meet that challenge.
All right, so now Kansas heads towards the NCAA tournament. They'll be the 1 seed. They'll be the favorite when we get to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament. NCAA tournament, though, really against all odds. And you talked about it, not a vintage team. Trey Young was dominating the headlines, not Devontae Graham, as the season has gone on, and yet Bill Self has had them in the top 10, if not the top 5, all season long. Joe Lunardi has them as a 1 seed right now. Do we really think Kansas is better than Duke, better than Michigan State, better maybe than North Carolina or Purdue, and yet there they are What type of a threat do you think they are to actually make a run, get to the Final Four? Could they win a national championship?
Oh, absolutely they can win it, Bob. There's a lot of teams, though, up there. There's about a dozen that can win it. You look at those teams there, there's a lot of parity out there. We've seen it all year long, the unpredictability that's taken place in college basketball. You just look at the scores on a daily basis, and you see that.
I think now that Duke has Bagley back, I think Duke and Michigan State are both deeper and more talented than Kansas. And yet Kansas just keeps on winning.
Well, you know, Duke has a great starting five, but let's not forget this. 4 of those guys are freshmen.
Yep. And
I don't care. Getting to the tournament in a one-game scenario, it's not always the best team wins. You got to get a little bit hot.
And 100 all coming to Cameron next year.
And what about most guys would like to get one guy in the top 10? What about having 4? Because you also got the Jones kid, his brother of Jones, who played there from out of Minnesota.
Chance to hold for the final shot of a first half that Kansas has dominated, shooting 61% from the field. Of course, when you don't have Mo Bamba and you're Texas, you've got no one that can protect the rim the way he can. That will definitely hurt you.
Tell you one thing, the Big 12 is going to be a great tournament. So is the SEC. I know you'll be doing the Big 12. I can't wait to do the SEC with Carl Ravitch. Have a lot of fun.
Young glides in, scores before halftime. So a little light for Texas, down by 13 at the break.
Young's brother's in the NBA. Joe, his father was a player, so basketball is part of their lives down there.
Let's go over to Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach, you said early in the year you Udoka Azubuike would get one foul. It was the end of the world. How has your team gotten better at learning to play without him in these moments where he gets 2 fouls?
Well, Mitch has gotten a lot better, and certainly Silvio's given us a lot more than he did earlier. And it helps when your perimeter's good and makes shots, but we're a lot better with the big fella in there.
You just walked over to me just now, and even though you're up here, you said, that's awful. What are you frustrated about?
Well, you play for the last shot. The worst you can do is go in up 15, and you don't. So, yeah, we got to be better than that at the end of the clock.
Thank you, Coach.
Still a 13-point lead at halftime for Kansas over Texas, 45-32 on senior night. Big first half for Mikhailuk and Graham. Stay tuned. It'll be Carl Ravitch, Jay Will, and Seth. The Alfa Romeo halftime report is coming up after a short break.
Everyone has a thing. That binge watch over the weekend thing.
Hero is with us as well, shooting nearly 61% in the first half. The Kansas Jayhawks, 45-32. They have the lead. No Mo Bamba to protect the rim for Texas. Well, these seniors, particularly Svi Mikhailuk and Devontae Graham, took advantage.
What a dynamite duo. Roommates playing absolutely brilliant basketball. Graham and Mikhailuk have been unreal. Devontae Graham, my choice is Player of the Year, the Big 12, the memorability. My choice is the first-team All-American, joining Brooks in the backcourt. There he is with the jump shot. And then Mikhailuk, what a job he has done, attacking the rim, shooting the basketball. Senior night at the Fob, man. What a special, emotional day. They're going for the outright championship. Unbelievable. That All-American team I throw on as well. Ayton from Arizona, Bagley of Duke, and Trae Young of Oklahoma. Those are my 5 All-Americans. You want my coach of the year?
Yeah.
You asked me earlier.
Yes.
I did research. Seth, I could go, and I understand Seth going for Mr. South. Great choice. I'm going for Rick Barnes. Picked 13th in the SEC. Right now, 2nd in the SEC. Top 16 in America. Rick Barnes, former Texas coach, my national coach of the year.
Coleman starts off the second half. His shot blocked by Azubuike, but it falls right into the hands of Sims.
They need a real spurt right here in Texas to get a little mold, get that little swag, get that little feeling that we can compete and we can play with the Jayhawks on senior night. I'm fired up, Bob.
I can tell. Mikhailuk turns it over.
This place gets me excited.
Kerwin Roach finds the trailer and Sims down the lane.
Up and away. He said, who needs Bamba? They got me. I'm Mr. Sims. Not Billy Sims. He was some running back, man. Oklahoma Super, Detroit Lions. We're going to have fun here in the second half. It's the last time these kids will wear that Kansas uniform at home, Graham and Mikhailuk.
Azubuike to the left hand, yes.
They got to go at him to get a 3rd foul. They have no answer. Total mismatch on the inside. Total M&M.
It'll stay with Texas. Azubuike is perfect from the field so far, 5 for 5, because he gets looks like this. Sims, you'll be 100% for the field.
The trail
fly down the lane.
He trails right down the lane. They find him.
Well, I checked with Texas coach Shaka Smart coming out of the locker room at the half, and he said their biggest problem is they've given up too many layups and easy looks around the basket. He said that's a direct reflection of being not back in transition, and of course not having Mo Bamba to be their eraser back there. But the thing they are doing well is haven't given as many three-pointers. 17 threes by Kansas in the first meeting in December, only 4 so far in the first half. That is some improvement for Texas.
There really is. You made a great point. Not only not getting that transition, the loss of Bamba. They can't handle it. They can't handle it. It's no contest in the post. As long as he's on the floor, Texas is in major, major trouble.
Azubuike a perfect 6 for 6 from the field.
He said, why did I get those 2 fouls and become an assistant coach and sit next to Coach South? I wanted some PT. There's no Bamba to deal with.
Shot clock down to 8. Kerwin Roach throws one up. I think that was allowed for Sims. Broken up by KU. Here comes Mikhailuk. And again, Bamba with an injured toe. Actually hurt it in a game that we had called where he played extraordinarily well against Oklahoma. Tried to play in their last game against Oklahoma State. Just couldn't get through the first half. Had 4 points, 2 rebounds. Didn't play in the second half and did not make the trip.
You know, some people talk about the scenario. It's only a toe. Give me a break. That pain is unreal. And you going up and down the floor taking a pounding. He wanted to play in the worst way, but unfortunately he can't.
They're letting Osikowski handle Azubuike as best he can, and this time he commits the foul. That last foul, by the way, on Matt Coleman was his 3rd, and that's now the 3rd on Dylan Osikowski.
He can't worry about substituting. When you look at Shaka, he's very limited with his depth, and he has to play these people and keep them on the floor. We talked about how important this week is to Texas, because if they lose these 2 games, one to Kansas or one to West Virginia on Saturday, they're now 7-11, and it's 20 years since a team got in with 4 under 500. That was Florida State, and in 26 years ago, Iowa State got in.
Graham can't beat the timer. Here comes Jacob Young.
There's the graphic. It tells you the story.
Osikowski, floater, short.
They both won their first round game after getting in 4 under.
Newman runs over Coleman, and Coleman called for a blocking foul. That is his 4th. So that's a big call for Texas. Coleman nearly averages double figures in scoring. So that's a weapon to take off the floor.
Yeah, right there. Gets him for a block. Let me tell you this. Losing Coleman right here. You think about what they're without. Without Eric Davis, they're without Andrew Jones, and they're without Bamba and Coleman on the sideline. You take 4 players of that caliber out of your rotation, and you're playing one of the premier teams in the nation. Pretty tough to win.
Gerald Vick short with the jump hook.
I think Sims is really giving them some good quality time, some QT, baby. Quality time for a guy that's stepping in to play some Bamba here tonight.
Febres for 3. Osikowski with the tip follow, plus the foul.
He's a transfer from out of Tulane. Strong around the basket, very agile for a big guy. Watch his left-hand tip. Using the left hand really well. There's the tip, nice touch on it. He got fouled as well. Mom and Dad jump with joy. They're in the crowd tonight. This team is a very good team, Kansas, but not one of the vintage. Let me tell you the best Kansas team that I ever thought, and they didn't win a national title and had such a great year. They had one bad night, but they got beat by Arizona, 97. Roy Williams' team. Let me think if I can remember. It was Pierce. It was LaFrance. It was Haas. It was my favorite point guard in college that year, Jock Vaughn, and I'm missing one guy. Pollard, the big guy. That team lost 2 games. They lost to Missouri.
Azubuike again.
He can do anything he wants inside, anything he wants. That was a great college team that never won a national title. 4 out of 7, nobody would have beaten them. And that year, Lute Olson, Arizona, beat 3 #1 seeds. They beat Kentucky for the national title in '97.
Kerwin Roach hammered on his way to the goal. He'll shoot free throws when we come back. Has not been much good news on the floor so far tonight for Texas, but boy, did they get some great news off the floor. Andrew Jones recovering from leukemia. Holly Rowe at the latest. Next.
Going back about every other day for chemotherapy treatments, and he's very optimistic that everything is going very well. He's starting to feel better each and every day. So, Andrew, I know you're home with your parents watching. So much love and support from all of us in the Big 12, and we've got your back, kiddo. Can't wait to see you soon.
Tell you, Andrew, just listen to Holly. You talk about a lady with great inspiration, as she's been where you've been, battling and battling and battling. You're going to make it, my friend. You're going to make it. Just be positive.
I look forward, hopefully, to being on the microphone when Andrew makes his return to the court.
I would love that.
Devontae Graham flips it up, a little too strong. Down by only 9 now. Texas, chance to draw closer. Young tries a 3. Connects!
Tell you one thing, Young's done a nice job. Look at Shaka working that sideline. I love the guts and heart of these kids from Texas. You know, you pick those at-large teams. I don't care what their record is. It's pretty tough to tell me that they're not one of the best at-large teams.
Well, they will be battle-tested if they find their way into the field. No doubt about that. Can they stop Azubuike? Double teamed by Osakowski and Sims, but a great little slip feed. Azubuike is able to find Marcus Garrett all alone.
Well, the reason Garrett got the layup, the double team inside, and he had the awareness to find the open guy. Great instinct. I'm telling you, that kid is getting better and better and better and better every time I see him.
Sims against Azubuike, kicks it back out. 7 to shoot. Kerwin Roach one-on-one at Malik Newman. The flip won't go. Newman, Azubuike, Osakowski, all on the deck, and here comes Newman.
Love to see that hustle, man. Scrapping, diving.
Newman for 3. Knocks it down.
See, that's one of the great assets. We talked about it earlier. They made 17 threes. Haven't made a lot here tonight, but they're so capable. Their three-point shooting on the perimeter is as good as any in America. They got Newman, they got Graham, they got Mikhailu. They all can make the 3 ball. What a weapon that is. Today's day and age, if I was coaching, man, let me tell you, Bob, I'd be out there chasing three-point shooters.
Tough pass for Sims to handle. It'll stay with Texas, but only 3 on the shot clock. Our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader. It's got the Warriors in D.C. to take on the Wizards at 8 Eastern, and then the Rockets will take off against CP3's former team, the Clippers. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown, 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Warriors, Wizards, Rockets, Clippers, and now only 3 on the shot clock. Matt Coleman back to throw it in for Texas. He'll play with 4 fouls. Osakowski leans back. That drew iron, but it falls to Mikhailu. LeGerald Vick. That's off the mark. Mikhailu hung in midair and couldn't put it back. Young, he's got speed, tries to go behind the back, and it went right off the toes of Garrett.
Careless right there, that possession. They're going to make possessions count.
Offensive foul on Lightfoot. Chase Febris had position underneath.
Yourself not happy with that call. Little frustration. Little frustration. He's got a great picture in his office with Coach Wooden. Spent the week with him. The Wizard of Westwood. He knew a little bit about winning.
He told his guys it's nice to win 14 consecutive Big 12 championships and break that record set by UCLA. But those 11 national titles, that's pretty good. Hard to compare yourself.
I think he's talking total 11, but John would have 10 and 12 years.
Exactly.
7 in a row.
How about the tip? Finds its way in as Febris got a hand on the ball.
I love seeing kids who are underdogs, kids coming in here short-handed, and they battle and battle and battle. Isn't that what sports is about? The underdog, the 3-star player playing the 5-star, 3-star for one-night plays with unbelievable emotion and intensity.
Mikhailuk, tough pass for Graham to handle.
But he got great change of speed.
Garrett down the lane. Yes.
Nice drive by Garrett. They got drivers, finishers.
Kerwin Roach beat Graham off the dribble. But an offensive foul called on Roach. Mitch Lightfoot had position.
Yeah, a little careless down. They made a nice little run. They had it down to 8. Can't have these empty possessions. He's got Azubuike out right now, so they can really attack a little more with him on the sideline. They can extend a little bit more on the perimeter too, so they don't have to worry about really a threat inside to score down in the low post. It's great when you got that balance.
Garrett gets Osakowski caught on a switch, but couldn't finish.
What a quality game to get out of Sims. I'll tell you, he's got great bounce off the floor, an explosive leaper. Came from Minnesota. I don't know how to let him out of that state, man. He's a young kid with a good future. Oh, good ball
Osakowski thought about a 3. He'll drive it instead and lean in.
Nice little move by Osakowski. Good first step. Transfer from out of Tulane, an all Marco Polo guy.
Almost averaged a double-double in the one season, or a couple seasons ago, as a sophomore at Tulane. Well, you mentioned the balance for Kansas. They have not gotten any points so far in the second half from Graham or Mikhailuk, and they're still up by 9. Under 11 minutes to go. There is positioning at play tonight as we head toward the Big 12 tournament, and a studio update coming. Important game in the Big 12 next. That's an important game for West Virginia as they will finish out the regular season on Saturday against Texas in Austin. Kansas, of course, with a win tonight would end up as the undisputed outright champion in the Big 12, having beat Texas Tech on Saturday afternoon. But that is really a quality top of the league as this group heads towards Kansas City next week.
Oh, no question. Even the middle of the league gets some really big-time talent. I think the SEC and the Big 12 are the two best conferences from top to bottom this year. A lot of teams, man, Bubble City, when you think about.
Graham lobs it. Azubuike is able to finish again, and Osakowski just has to watch. He picked up his 4th foul just before we went to the break.
When he's on the floor, they're a different team right now because of no presence of anybody to protect the rim.
Straightaway 3. Yes.
Osakowski making some big shots.
And it looks like they will stay in the zone, maybe to protect Osakowski as best they can, although he's still down there in the lane with Azubuike.
Yeah, how much of the ball into Azubuike? You got to get the ball in that 3-second area.
It's Garrett instead. Azubuike, offensive rebound, still hasn't missed.
He said, you're not going to get me the ball? I'll just go get it off the glass. I'll just get it off the glass and score. What a day he is having. His field goal percentage is going up, up, and up. Started out pretty good in the 70s.
He had number 1 in America at 77%. Tonight he's 9 for 9.
That's pretty good.
It's not
9
bad.
for 9. He may go Bo Derek, go for 10 for 10. He might be involved.
Osakowski that hit the backboard first.
Trying to get the ball.
With the steal.
Yeah, trying to get the Azubuike.
Young at Mikhailuk, plus the foul.
Nice drive by Young, left-handed player, so he had great position and the angle on the defender. He had the great angle, taking that ball to the goal. Now watch this, the left-handed player, he's going to a strong hand. There he is, gets the bump, goes to the line. If they can only get some stops.
Third foul on Mikhailuk.
Talk about Bubble City, Bob. Teams like Kansas State, they better not lose out. Baylor, we got Texas, Oklahoma State. You think about Providence, Washington, all these teams. I mean, they need some wins, and you got to watch what other teams do. One thing you're seeing tonight, Shaka is going to be very proud of the effort in these kids. Coming in here without a full cast, playing the team on senior night, playing the team, going for the outright championship. It's unbelievable what an effort they're giving.
And two of his three best players active tonight as Vic passed up a layup, or so it seemed, for a Mikhailuk three. That worked out for Kansas.
He said, you know what? I didn't go to Harvard, but three's better than two. So I'm going to give it to my buddy who knocked down a three. Boy, Mikhailuk has a beautiful shot. I love guys, when they shoot the ball, there's a chance it's going to go in.
It's good quality in a shooter.
Yeah.
Debris can't hit. Tapped out of bounds by Sims.
Some of the great shooters over the years I've covered, Chris Mullen was like that. Steve Alford. And there's Mikhailuk. There is a good ball fake to create space. Reggie Miller.
Let's go over to Holly.
Well, Svi Mikhailuk came to KU when he was just 17 years old after getting some exposure in a tournament overseas, an under-17 tournament. He came a long way from home, 5,500 miles from Ukraine. He's only had his parents here in the stands watching him twice in his 4-year career, but they are here tonight. His parents, Ilya and Ina, making that trip to watch their son play for the final time right here in Allen Fieldhouse.
And Holly, they're watching perfection from Udoka Azubuike, as he hasn't missed yet. Mikhailuk has been good. Azubuike has been great.
10 for 10, baby. He's Bo Derek style now. He's a 10. 10 for 10. And he's really worked hard to improve his free throw shooting. People have followed him deliberately early in the year.
He might get another try. Kerwin Roach lost his balance, and it's a lane violation.
He didn't really have good rotation on that last one. That looked more like my free throw. Hey, look who's here, Miami Vice. He came over before the game and talked to us. He said, I'm a Kansas former student, Don Johnson.
Jinx. That was the announcer, Jinx, a la Dick Vitale. Don Johnson sees Azubuike with really his only mistake so far tonight. That's an air ball from the free throw line.
You know what? That'll probably get him down right now. Look, he's working on his follow-through right now. He's got to think about his 10 for 10. And forget that. Get back in the gym and keep working at it, working at it. He went through a stretch where he made 18 out of 30. And for him, that was really good.
Garrett takes it away from Roach. Mikhailuk back to Garrett.
What tremendous, unselfish basketball. Share the ball, move the ball, fill the lane, transition.
Banks blocked by Mikhailuk.
Score the basket. That was interference, no doubt about it.
And now Roach.
They missed that call.
Roach's got a flat tire. He only had one shoe on. And so rather than try and get in front, he just committed a foul.
They missed that last play. There's no doubt about it. I don't blame Shaka being upset. I don't believe there's Azubuike dominating inside. He dominated on the interior, but they got away with one. Oh, it's been all Azubuike.
Must be a magician. She's done a great job keeping these guys on the court, keeping them healthy, but more important, a 40-pound weight loss for Udoka, his ability to elevate and really come into his own. She deserves a lot of credit for these rings, and I really like her jewelry. I might be stealing it.
That's great, Holly. Holly, you do a terrific job. You're our MVP.
You're walking down the Fieldhouse with Holly, it's like walking in with Elvis. They love her here.
I love her everywhere. They're going to love her at my gala when we present the V Foundation Spirit Award to her.
Today at shoot-around, Don Johnson came to the Kansas practice, beelined right over to Holly Rowe.
Miami Vice.
The officials had to clear up a little clock mishap. They've got that ironed out. And this game now really starting to get away from Texas. Down 69-54. And Osakowski has fouled out.
Offense, no doubt about it. Leaned in with the left shoulder. Tell you the one thing, the Kansas kids do play defense. Watch this, he leads right in. No way, fouled out of the game. They got to really get ready for the tenacious, tough West Virginia team on Saturday. Then you and I are going to be in Vegas. Hey, we're going to Vegas, baby. We'll be down there for that WCC. Boy, Gonzaga's been playing great. Talk about a guy doing. What about winning 16 championships in 17 years? That's what Mr. Few has done. Lost 1 year, St. Mary's.
He's got a little kingdom out there in Spokane.
They weren't supposed to be that great this year. It's supposed to be a kind of a little bit rebuilding year.
Azubuike has his shot rejected. His first miss met by James Banks, but he's able to answer. It looks like they'll call that a foul on Banks on the floor before Azubuike put it home, so this will be a 1-and-1.
Banks hasn't got a lot of PT playing time. And out on the floor with size, trying to get some size in there since they lost Osakowski. So one place it becomes a mental thing with him going to that line. He starts thinking about it, especially after the last two.
He got that one up on the rim at least.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to go in that area.
Young, in and out, and right back in again for three.
Tell you one thing, Young's really played well for them. He's done a nice job.
Up to 12 for the game for Jacob Young. Akailu lost the dribble, tried to tip it to LeGerald Vick, and it's knocked out of bounds by Vick.
Vick was almost in our lap.
And as LeGerald Vick was on the way, I could see you lean back there. I thought you were going to take the charge and protect me. Not so much.
No, I did that one time for Dan Shilman. I'm not taking any charges.
That's it. You're an Olay guy. That three won't go for Young. Back tap by Sims right to Garrett. Here comes Graham.
Graham's not had a typical Graham night, but he's still got 8 assists. Leader. There's a lot of things he does, intangibles that aren't, you don't see him in a box score. He wants to go to work one-on-one. He wants to go to work inside. Strength, power, size.
And now Azubuike is called for 3 seconds as we take a look at tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch. And we've got a couple of players in tonight's game, at least in the late season top 20, including Devontae Graham. And also, of course, Mo Bamba, left at home with the toe injury by Texas. But that's 5 pretty good candidates for the Big 12 to put forward to possibly win the Wooden Award.
You know, Trae Young had a really strong game his last performance. He's back being Trae Young, and they won.
Graham off the steal, yes.
Did that like you teach. Pull up at the foul line, look right, look left, make the medium jump shot if nobody's there to stop the basketball. He's my player of the year in the conference, no question. I have no hesitation saying I would vote for him.
That's saying a lot with where Trae Young was on the national scene about a month ago.
But you got to win. They went through that spurt, lost 6 games.
How about Jericho Sims?
Sims getting a little playing time. Oh, I got to get back on date.
Goaltender. Mitch Lightfoot gets the basket as Sims got it after it grazed the backboard.
Sims a little slow getting back in transition. You knew, and I knew, and everybody knew, this was going to be a tough, tough night for Texas to get out of here with a win. 34 times in a row. What did I say up in the office to Bill Self when I left? I said, I think your odds are pretty good. 34 in a row, no Bamba. But every coach says, you know, hey, you never know, man, you got to play.
Coleman hits a 3. Texas down by 11 now with 5 minutes to go.
Coleman's got a ability there. There's no doubt about it. He's got talent. Just be a little more consistent. I think he and Jones would have been a heck of a nice backcourt. Jones gave him that score.
Kansas getting a little sloppy with the basketball. They turn it over as Febres ended up with it. Here comes Roach. Texas trying to get it back to single digits. The Roach reverse wouldn't go.
Made a real quick move to the goal with that reverse layup. Looked like he had himself the good angle for the layup on the reverse. Boy, injuries can really hurt a club. You look at Notre Dame losing Bonzie Colson. You look at this club losing Jones, not playing without Bamba. Changes your whole lineup. You got 5 players. You lose a key player like Bonzie, that changes your complexion of a team.
Whole season. Roach, step back. Short. Good hustle, though, by Coleman.
Oh, look at that hustle. Tell these kids it's not important. Tell them it's not important.
Young gets into it with Newman. The arrow belongs to Kansas. So does the basketball when we come back under 4 minutes to go on senior night.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
The modern man values tradition, like craftsmanship, hard work.
The tight race between the Warriors and Rockets on SportsCenter after the game. Back to Bob.
Thanks, Bucci. It's Bucci and Levy with SportsCenter as soon as we're done here at Allen Fieldhouse. And barring what would be a pretty miraculous comeback in the last 4 minutes for Texas, it's the final 4 minutes on the floor here at the Phog
Well,
for Devontae Graham and Svi Mykhailiuk.
You're going out to Waco tomorrow for that game with Oklahoma. Trey Young. Fran will be with you. Fran does a great job in the Big 12, and so do you, Bob. You guys are going to have a great time in that tournament. I'm looking forward to working with Carl Ravitch down in St. Louis at the SEC tournament.
Azubuike only got 1 miss from the field tonight, and an intentional foul is called.
Smart play. Let him go to the free throw line and prove he can make free throws rather than getting a little slam dunk inside.
Now the problem is they call it an intentional foul, which means it's 2 in the ball.
Yeah, look at the intentional.
Now the only team we've seen so far this season, at least the games I've watched in the Big 12 involving Kansas, Oklahoma, in the win by Oklahoma in Norman, they played hack-a-shack with Azubuike. It was basically hack-a-dope, where they went over and away from the ball, held him, and put him on the free throw line. You wonder if at some point, Big 12 tournament or in the NCAA tournament, is Bill Self going to have to be cognizant of getting him out of games? In a close game, would another coach employ that strategy down the road?
You got to basically think about that. There's no question, but you don't want to do the intentional or give him the basketball back.
2 in the ball doesn't help you.
Yeah, exactly. They're getting the ball back. But right now, he's 0 for 5, I believe.
And now Kerwin Roach takes it away on the lob for Azubuike. Leans in, scores, plus the foul, and a little life left for the Horns.
He's a driver, that kid. He really is. They played hard. It's all shot you can ask out of him. There's the steal. Great anticipation. Made like a defensive back right there. Made like a defensive back. A lot of basketball players don't make that transition. Bill Self very upset. Look at the frustration. You think he wants this. He ain't worried about the championships he's had prior. He wants tonight. And that's what winners are about. They're about the moment. About the moment.
That foul on Mykhailiuk.
Remarkable journey for Kansas senior Devontae Graham. Tonight, his final performance here in Phog Allen Fieldhouse. He was born to his mother, Duana King, when she was just in 8th grade. As she persevered in her life, she graduated from high school with him walking across the stage with him as a 4-year-old. They have fought together to be here for this moment. Unrecruited, he signed with Appalachian State, but then he blew up when he went to Brewster Academy. They made a decision to come to Kansas, and they have been so proud. He is now graduating from Kansas. He's become the all-time leader on this team. Bill Self said he is a special young man because they have followed him during difficult times this season when it was in doubt to win a 14th straight conference championship. It was Devontae Graham who pulled the team together and said, we will not be the team that ends this streak. And this young man, as a senior, goes out tonight with the streak intact.
And he just picked up his 4th double-double this season, all point assists double-doubles. as he was able to find Garrett in the corner. Coleman answers, though, for Texas. They're down by 8. Game not over. 3 minutes to go.
Nice play right there by Coleman. He knocked down that 3. After Graham with the great look, great pass. What's made him special is his clutch play whenever they need big baskets. And all you got to do is go to the game against Texas Tech.
Yep.
And you look at the last 14 minutes. Tom Keegan, fine writer here, wrote all about that today.
Garrett weaves his way inside, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Hey, I got a moment. He's been played my choice player of the year in the conference. You're my choice father of the year. And people ask me on text, what do I mean by that? Let me explain it. We did a game at Duke. We did the game on Saturday. What this guy did was unreal. Instead of flying with me and coming out here on Air Vital and coming out to Kansas, he decides that he's going to go home to Jersey so he can be with his kids. So he leaves Durham Sunday, flies to Jersey. There's a 2.5-hour delay after he goes home to meet his kids, and then flies back Sunday to here, Kansas. Unbelievable. You're my choice. Father of the year, Graham, player of the year.
I got to tell you, during the 2.5-hour delay, the shrimp cocktail on Air Vital, I was starting to regret that decision. 2.5 minutes to go.
Every possession now becomes so big for Oklahoma.
Garrett swats the shot out of bounds.
Texas.
For Texas,
I was thinking about you going at Oklahoma. That's a big game for them with Baylor tomorrow.
Yeah, they're playing right now, Texas is, with little to no margin for error. They really can't afford many empty trips, and Roach can't hit here.
Well, the pressure's going to be on them to have to win Saturday against West Virginia if they don't come back with a miracle finish here and win this game.
Kylu lost his footing, somehow found Garrett. 5 to shoot. Garrett spins, travel.
Lifted the pivot foot. See, the one thing is they got to get Bomber back on Saturday. Hey, some good news for the Fighting Irish. Mike Bray just sent me a text. He said Bonzie Colson will start for them Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah, that's big because they're 2 games under 500 conference play. And they want to show the committee their star is coming back.
Young for 3. Rattles it in and out.
He got robbed. That baby was in. That baby was in. Talk about getting robbed. 34 senior nights in a row. Kansas has prevailed.
Great hustle by Young.
Great steal. Stayed with the ball, didn't foul, used his left hand. Look at these kids battling. They are battling, man. You got to respect that.
Debris gives the foul.
How big would this been? Look at this 3. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? How did that ball come out?
That's the
Come
ghost,
on, Gus, our
of the
producer.
fog.
Put that in a basket. Oh, man. Look at that. They come back with a steal.
This ties Jacobs Young's career high. He's got 14.
Well, in Shaka Smart's team meeting last night, he brought up to his team the formula for winning here in Allen Fieldhouse. This year, it was Arizona State, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech who were able to do it. He said it was flying around, having fun, and playing with joy. And that is some of what we've seen from Texas tonight. They may not walk out of here with the win, but the formula has in part been complete. If they'd been at full strength, we might have seen a different story tonight.
Tell you one thing, he had one great win over Bill Self, 2011 in the Elite 8 when his team, VCU, beat him to go to the Final Four.
Devontae Graham with a takeaway. Up 8, lobs one, and Lightfoot finishes.
This baby's over. It's over. They're dancing with joy. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk. Yes, sir. Jayhawks outright champs in the Big 12. Wow. What an environment. What a place. I get goosebumps, baby. This is so special. The fun. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
And now the curtain call for the seniors. Malik Newman sits down, and you have to think it's only a matter of moments here before Bill Self will give the same curtain call to Mikhailuk and Graham. Graham trying to beat the timer. Off light foot, out of bounds. 14 seconds to go. And here comes Malik Newman back to the table. And Clay Young briefly checks back in the game, so he gets a curtain call.
Devontae.
First, it's going to be Mikhailuk.
And here comes Devontae next.
And now Devontae Graham.
PTP, 3S band, super scintillating, sensational. Mr. Graham, what a career he has had. 4 years, 4 Big 12 titles. And the victor goes the spoils. It's all about winning.
And that makes it official. The 14th consecutive Big 12 championship for Kansas is an outright title. And they will head to Kansas City as the 1 seed. And right now, Joe Lunardi has them in the big dance as a 1 seed. Our player of the game brought to you by Phillips 66. Steve Mikhailuk made 3 triples, 17 points. And on senior night, he and Devontae Graham combined to make it official an outright title in the Big 12 for KU.
Well, it's been a lot of fun with you, my friend.
We're glad we could have you join us for the final big Monday of the season, because Champ Week is on the horizon. Our final here in Lawrence, 80-70, KU over Texas. For Dick Vitale and Holly Rowe, I'm Bob Wischusen. Congratulations to the Jayhawks, an unprecedented 14 consecutive Big 12 titles, and they do it in style. It's time to get you to SportsCenter.
This is Sports.